somebody that just protection overall. So the love that's exuded and all of the just the caring in the world, we all know that because we know how he was or he is, period. But I'll say when we first met, Portia's mother, her 3 uncles, and her grandmother all came to rescue her in Richmond, Virginia, because they thought that the person that she was getting with, me, was not going in the right direction. So the thing that I want to really push is the fact that a lot of people can show love, or a lot of people can praise and do a whole lot of things, but when you're talking about being introduced to someone and they are, whether they are practicing something different by way of religion or whatever the case may be, he still had the fortitude enough to listen and just openly be there, not only for her, but listen to what I had to say. And I thought that was huge. And ever since then, we've been like that. So I love you, Uncle Larry, and I'll send a fish sandwich to you in heaven.
Praise the Lord. I dare not say what I wanted to say about Larry. I'm going to call him Larry right now. But one day we was in church on Sunday, and Pastor had, had preached a message, and everybody was leaving. And I got up to, embrace people and everything. So I went back to my chair, and I looked, I said, where's my purse and my Bible? I said, okay, here's my Bible, but where's my purse? And Larry was standing in the back, and he was looking around like, And I said, Larry, I said, did you see my purse? I said, it's gone. And I said, we got robes in the church? And, he kept looking around. I said, I knew it was here, so I kept looking. I looked under the chair, looked across, and I looked in the next, nothing. So finally, I kept walking, and I said, how did my purse get way back here? He bust out and started laughing. I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to let Pastor know that you a rogue in the church. But he was a good man. Good man.
Hello. My name is Felicia, and I'm Larry's cousin and Larry's sister, and I just want to share something about Larry growing up. You know Larry from being a man of God. I know Larry from being one of the older siblings who stayed upstairs. We grew up in Lambert's Point, and we had a big old house, and we had a lot of children. My sister Geneva, my brother Diggs, Sissy, we're all from Norfolk, and then I just saw my cousin Herman, his wife. Herman didn't live with us, but he was there so long people thought he lived with us. But my Aunt Shirley Mae, my Aunt Leola, and my mom, and my sister, the oldest sister, she said when she would wake up in the morning, there was always another child in the house. And to bring that into perspective, it was like 17 children. And you know how you line up in the cafeteria? We would line up to go to breakfast, to go to dinner, and my mom had a stove. It had 2 ovens and a grill in the center. And so we would have to get in line, but because it was so many of us and we would break dishes, if you didn't want to wait for the dishes to be washed, if there was a top, if there was a pie pan from when we had pies, then we would use those. And Larry, when it was your turn to eat, there was a table. So after you finished eating, it was like an assembly line. You got up and you came out. Larry never got up. And Charles Jr. said to my Aunt Shirley Mae, Aunt Willie Mae won't feed me. And she said, I'm feeding him. And it was Larry. Larry never got up from the table. He just kept eating and eating. Because they were older, they stayed upstairs. And they had a huge bedroom that had a full-size bed and 2 twin-size beds. And then the bedroom on the outside of theirs had 2 twin-size beds. And there was a master or primary suite that belonged to my grandfather. Then there was another bedroom. And then downstairs, I stayed downstairs. There was 2 bedrooms. And because it was so many of us, when I grew up, when I was a child, people always wanted to have their own room. I just wanted to have my own bed. I slept in the bed with my mother and my brother. And then when I got older, I graduated to the bed next to my mother's. And so when we grew up and you were talking about Larry skating, Larry learned to skate in Lambert's Point. That was the one thing we did on Christmas morning. Had to go to church first, but when we got back, everybody would skate on Parker Avenue. And so I just wanted to say that my Aunt Shirley Mae, you are an example of a woman who walks in faith. You've lost 3 children this year, and not to mention you buried 2 daughters. And I talk to you several times a week, and I said, I just don't know how you're standing. And she said to me, I'm standing in faith. And I don't even want to imagine what it is to lose a child. But to look at my aunt and to see her standing is a testimony to me there is a God. And the God that she serves, the God that we serve, is the God that Larry served. And I called him on the phone because when you're away and you have family and you're used to being together, things always seem worse. They always seem worse. And I called Larry and he was in the hospital. And I started laughing and I was like, oh yeah, I'll chicken. You could have called Larry because I knew. And one of the last things he said to me is, cuz no matter what happens, I'm okay. Amen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marnita Mason, the daughter of Eugene Mason, the brother of Uncle Larry. I can't say that I grew up knowing him, but sitting here listening to everyone just brings back nostalgic memories of my father. They were 2 of the same kind of men. They will leave a big, big, big spot to fill. This is a very joyous moment. And everything that you did, Aunt Linda, I did for my dad. I never stopped praying. I knew what God did for me, that he would do. And he did do that. And I thank him and everyone here.
Little did I know, 26 years ago when I walked in this man's house, that he would probably be the most influential man in my life. He was the most